Morning.
Good morning. My name is Justin Danhof. I'm General Counsel with the National Center for Public Policy Research. Last March, the company announced that it will prohibit clients from selling guns to anyone under the age of 21, require business customers to run background checks for all firearm sales, and cease the selling of high-capacity magazines and bump stocks. Because of the company's anti-Second Amendment stance, Citi was actually denied the chance to be involved in a $600 million road project in Louisiana. Furthermore, members of Congress have threatened to cancel some Citi federal contracts. Senator John Kennedy noted, quote, Citigroup has no business threatening law-abiding business owners for exercising their Second Amendment rights. The only reason that Citigroup is even in business today is because American taxpayers bailed them out during the Great Recession, end quote. So to be clear, the company is impinging on the constitutional rights of some of the very Americans who bailed Citi out after you all made a series of poor business decisions. Perhaps you just should have said thank you instead. In thumbing your nose at the Constitution, the company is also willfully giving up money. That's an odd choice for a bank. The company joins a list of corporations following the whim of the moment and not looking out for the best interest of long-term shareholders. CNBC talking head Andrew Ross Sorkin has been pressuring banks, including Citi and credit cards, to take a stand against gun rights. But you don't work for the interest of a far-left journalist. Let's take a look at how an investor with a better track record for generating return on investment answered when he was asked if his company would make similar policy decisions regarding the Second Amendment. Last year, CNBC asked Warren Buffett about corporations distancing themselves from the National Rifle Association and gun manufacturers, and how Berkshire would respond to such pressure. Buffett replied, quote, I don't believe in imposing my views on hundreds of thousands of employees and a million shareholders. I'm not their nanny on that. I think it would be ridiculous, end quote. Buffett went on to explain that corporations that make in-the-moment political decisions are subject to the fickle nature of politics and are reacting to events rather than standing on consistent, firm principles. Can you tell us investors exactly how much money we stand to lose because of this stance, and explain why you all have this right and Warren Buffett has it wrong?
Sure. So thank you. Thank you for your question. First off, I would say is that we are not threatening people, and we are not certainly threatening the Second Amendment. What our policy really seeks to do is not put restrictions on gun ownership, but really try and institute a series of best practices that has hopefully a good chance of keeping guns out of the wrong people's hands. And so we've worked with a number of our retailers to come up with what we think some of those best practices are. And I would also candidly say that not all of those practices were necessarily invented here. It was practices that some of our retailers were already employing around a full background check, around potentially restricting or limiting the sale of firearms to people under the age of 21 who haven't been properly trained in the use of that. And in the case of not financing companies that are using those monies to convert legal weapons into potentially illegal weapons. And so I would say today it hasn't cost us a meaningful amount of money. We've had people who've brought business to us, certainly because we've put our own policy forward, and we've had people take business from us around the policy. I would say neither side has been material to the bottom line, but it's more important than that around the stance that the company takes in terms of trying to promote what we see as a best practice with our retailers. And of course, people who have deposits in our bank, who carry our credit card, who use our debit cards, are free to use those cards in any ways that they see fit. That's their money.
I would take a look at Dick's and how their retail business is done as an example of something to be wary of financially.
Thank you very much.